You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
A former manager admits he stole over $1 million from the Missouri State University bookstore. Good evening. I'm Ashley Katz.
I'm David Oliver. Good to have you joining us here at 10 today. Mark Brixey pleaded guilty in federal court. You may recall back in 2012, a missing deposit caught the attention of investigators. Then $81,000 was discovered in Brixey's desk. Eventually, more missing money was found.
He engaged in a 10-year-long scheme of deceit and theft. He repeatedly abused his position.
You know, when we learned of that theft, probably was the saddest day that I've had since I took this position.
Brixey now faces a sentence up to 43 years in federal prison. He is currently free on bond tonight. Federal prosecutors say they've recovered about $140,000. MSU also has an insurance policy that should allow the school to get back some more cash. If you'd like to read MSU's audit, look for this story on our website, ozarksfirst.com.
You don't have to travel far to find a business that has had a similar situation. New at 10, Kevin Schwaller shows the widespread problem of fraud in the workplace.
Actually, a survey from the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners estimates organizations worldwide lose 5% of revenue to fraud each year. And the biggest risk is for small businesses. So we talked to the owner of a company who has experience with this to find out what you can do to prevent fraud.
You lose all your wind.
At Kitchenland USA,
Trust makes you gives you blind spots.
a former employee saw this showroom as more than a place for the business to make money.
I knew there was something wrong. I didn't know what it was, but we were struggling, and we shouldn't have been.
Brad Schrock owns Kitchenland USA. He got an audit a few years ago and then discovered fraud.
I'll get little bits and pieces, but never going to get it all back.
A former employee pleaded guilty to stealing nearly $500,000.
It affects your family as much as anything. It causes a lot of stress, and it's like it kicked in the stomach, basically.
And the Springfield Little Theater here has its own experience with this. A former employee pleaded guilty to stealing about $44,000. Now, according to court documents, it found out when its credit card processing company noticed a large amount of refunds.
We get calls virtually every day from around the country with businesses that are facing issues with fraud, employee embezzlement, that sort of thing. So it's very common.
Forensic accountant with BKD CPAs and Advisors, Jeffrey Roberts, says businesses should get background checks on new hires. They should look over bank statements. With more banks allowing this online, it's simple. And he recommends getting employee dishonesty insurance. And if you don't run the company, you still have a role.
Employees can absolutely and should report concerns if they see those, because they're the eyes and ears for the owner.
If I'd had somebody independently auditing the books once a year, we would have caught it within a year. And I think that's important. It's money well spent.
Roberts says businesses with fewer than 100 employees are the most likely to be victims of employee fraud.
Kevin, thanks for that report. Now, the report that he mentioned also found that median loss from occupational fraud cases was $140,000. Schemes can last for months or years before someone discovers them, and tips are the #1 way businesses discover fraud. An Ozark school district will soon undergo an audit. Today, State Auditor Tom Schweik announced his plans to look into the Ash Grove schools. Schweik says citizens gathered more than 400 signatures on a petition to obtain the audit. The work is expected to begin next week.
We are watching more moisture headed for the Ozarks. It's not snow this time, thank goodness, right, Jamie?
Yeah, we're talking rain showers later on this week. And you know, we saw the sun today. That was great to see, but it's going to be very limited in the days to come. Looks like a very gloomy forecast. More on that coming up. Let's take a look at the spring season that we've seen so far. Not much of a spring, right? Where is it? Temperatures have been well below normal. In fact, about 25 degrees below normal. You can see the average highs here, and here are the high temperatures that we have seen since the beginning of spring. We didn't even make it above freezing yesterday. Well, today was better. We did manage to make it up to 40 this afternoon. Melted off a lot of the snow here along I-44. Still quite a bit, though, on the ground to our north and east, and that plus clear skies and light winds can allow temperatures there to drop likely into the upper teens, while everybody else will see a cold night, just not quite as cold. Clear out there right now with light light winds. It's already down to 28 in Springfield. High clouds, though, will spread in a little later on tonight, and that should put the brakes on that temperature drop. About 24 to start off our Wednesday. I think a little filtered sun in the morning, but the clouds will thicken up, and it looks like by lunchtime and throughout the afternoon we'll find cloudy skies and a chance for a few showers. We'll take a look at that in your hour-by-hour forecast coming up.
Jamie, thanks so much. New at 10, a search is going to resume in the morning for a missing fisherman. The sheriff of Marion County, Arkansas, says the Missouri man's boat was discovered on Bull Shoals Lake. Rescue teams searched for the man for several hours today. The sheriff says the man's family owns a private dock just north of the Arkansas state line near Duggansville, Missouri. Also new at 10, a hiker recovers from a fall at an Ozarks trail. This happened this morning at Table Rock State Park. Here's a photo from the Taney County Ambulance District. The hiker was unable to walk, so workers from several agencies along with several bystanders helped to rescue him. The injuries are not considered life-threatening.
Ozarks ranchers hope to stamp out cattle rustling after recent thefts in Marionville and Aurora. Today, about 200 ranchers got together in Mount Vernon to learn about ways to prevent thefts. The focus was on branding. The Lawrence County Sheriff's Office, MU Extension Office, and Southwest Missouri Cattlemen's Association taught those attending several ideas to track and retrieve their stolen property.
I want to pick out something that's simple, something that's recognizable to where people that are around me and have animals can actually identify mine from theirs. And if something happens, I do lose some cattle, I want them when they go through the stockyards to be able to again to identify that they're my animals.
Those brands have to be approved and registered with the state. The MU Extension Office tells us they've had a hard time tracking the number of stolen cattle because not all farmers file reports.
You could be asked to once again extend a sales tax to help shore up Springfield's police and fire pension fund. Today, a subcommittee of the pension board got an update on the fund. They recall 3 years ago, voters passed that 3/4 cent sales tax to help fill a funding gap that at one time was about $200 million. Pension board members say the last 3 years, though, has helped them fix part of the problem.
So we're actually ahead of our performance that we expected 3 years ago in terms of the size of the fund, the profitability of the fund, and the funding gap is actually somewhat less than what we had anticipated.
But there is still a shortfall in that fund of several $1 million. The committee plans to recommend to the full board that it ask voters to renew that tax for 5 more years. Now, the current tax will expire in November of 2014. The issue that you would vote on would be on your April ballot next year. People in Greene County who have not paid their personal property taxes are about to receive a second notice. Assessments were sent out in January. This year, individuals can get a postcard with a PIN number that can be used for online filing of your assessments. Business owners will receive a paper list for now. Those lists are due May 1st. Once again, if you want to avoid the penalty, everybody who owns vehicles or business equipment and property in Greene County has to submit that assessment form.
A recent poll finds a majority of Americans feel they don't know how the health care reform law will affect them. That's why the Springfield Greene County Health Department gave a free presentation today. A policy expert from the Missouri Foundation for Health answered questions about the law's effects on families, small businesses, and healthcare providers. A big part of the law, called parity, will be rolled out in 2014, where mental health has to be treated in the same way as physical health. The foundation believes it could be a challenge for hospitals.
When we talk about the uninsured, lots of uninsured have unmet mental health needs. And this law, unless we expand Medicaid, there will be a question of who is seen and who is seen to what extent.
The Missouri Foundation for Health is nonpartisan and says expanding Medicaid in the state is a no-brainer.
Well, tomorrow the U.S. Supreme Court holds a second day of arguments over same-sex marriage. Today, justices listened to a challenge to California's Proposition 8. That's a law voters approved banning same-sex marriage. The justices hinted, though, they will not use this case to deliver a landmark decision on whether same-sex couples have a right to marry.
The place for the decision to be made regarding redefining marriage is with the people, not with the courts.
We look forward to a day when Proposition 8 is finally and officially eliminated and equality is restored to the state of California.
Now, tomorrow's case involves a challenge to the 1996 Defense of Marriage Act, which denies federal benefits to same-sex spouses.
Now, more local news. It looks like Branson is out of the running to host the U.S. Social Media Tourism Symposium. And here are the results of an online vote. Voting's closed now. Missoula, Montana did defeat Branson. This is their Facebook page. The conference would have brought in about 300 people to Branson in November. Many Missouri families need to have a difficult conversation.
Yeah, telling an older driver that it's time to pull over for good.
It gets harder to judge speed and distance.
In tonight's Family Matters report here on your News at 10, the new statewide effort to protect older drivers and the rest of us on the road.
And if you'd like to find us on Facebook, first go to our website, ozarksfirst.com, and click the like button.
Your Family Matters report tonight here at 10 o'clock. A new effort to enforce safety on Missouri roads means jump-starting a conversation that many families find challenging.
And telling your older loved ones they are unfit to get behind the wheel. Color 10's Shannon Miller explains how hospitals are now helping in that process.
Don Farley's drive to stay behind the wheel hasn't slowed down with his age.
I have my new driver's license already, and it expires when I'm 91.
The 87-year-old is one of about 760,000 older drivers licensed in Missouri.
I like to get around, and you can't go any place without a car, seems like.
And now he and other drivers 65 years and older are the focus of a new campaign to curb driving when no longer physically fit.
When we think of roadway deaths, we normally think of the young driver. But our senior population is at risk as well.
The Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety's Arrive Alive After 65 campaign puts the conversation of dangerous driving into motion. Now hospitals, including Mercy, will address the issue during doctors' visits to get ahead of the curve.
You don't want to wait until, the Department of Revenue says, okay, you can't have a license again, or your family says, okay, we're going to take away your keys.
It is a little bit of a new approach with the hospitals taking more of a lead.
Joe Rickman with MoDOT says the campaign will help older drivers determine if they're at risk early on.
It gets harder to judge speed and distance. Your flexibility sometimes can be a challenge, so it's harder to see left or right or over your shoulder. reflexes tend to slow down a little bit.
While drivers like Don don't show signs of slowing down,
As long as they renew my license, I'm driving.
older drivers who should not be behind the wheel will now hear more about it from their healthcare professionals. In Springfield, Shannon Miller, Color 10 News.
There is a different danger on the road near the Lake of the Ozarks. Take a look at this. The police department took these pictures of a sinkhole on Valley Road. It developed over the weekend and may be to blame, or the winter weather may be to blame. Valley Road is closed between Station Drive and School Road while crews make repairs. It should be reopened by the end of the week.
It is that time of year we're seeing those things pop up because of our changing temperatures. And Jamie, you have more of that in the forecast, looks like.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to find a little bit of a warm up, but there's also still some cold weather in the forecast, and there's plenty of clouds and showers as well in the forecast. But can we squeak out a nice Easter weekend? Can we please? We'll take a look at that possibility in your 7-day forecast coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, clear and cold. It was nice to see that sun, but with the clear skies late in the day, when we got that sun, now we have clear skies, and that's allowing those temperatures to drop very quickly out there. Bright moonshine, beautiful, beautiful evening out there. 28 degrees right now. That's what's not so nice is the temperature, and it will continue to slowly drop. Basically, all those cold weather ingredients are kind of in place. We've got clear skies. We've got basically calm winds out there. We've got dry air in place, and that's going to allow temperatures to really sort of bottom out until we get some high cloudiness. We're already beginning to find a little high cloudiness to our west across Kansas and Nebraska. That will sneak into our skies, it looks like, after midnight. What we're watching is basically some unsettled weather back in here. We've got some upper level disturbances which are going to be migrating towards the east-southeast across the area, and that's going to lead to more cloud cover and a chance for showers on Wednesday. And it looks like that'll be sort of the pattern that we find really going through Thursday and Friday as well, heading into this upcoming weekend. Now, the setup for tomorrow is such. I talked about the upper level energy. Well, that's going to help to prompt an area of low pressure to develop across western Oklahoma. We're going to get the we're going to get the winds out of the south to southwest. That's going to overrun this very persistent area of cold air that's located across the eastern U.S., and that's going to lead to clouds and a few showers. The best chance for showers will be tomorrow afternoon, and it looks like the best chances will be in areas maybe like Hermitage, Lake Ozark, Rolla, Fort Leonard Wood, down through the Eminence area. This pattern is also going to continue through Thursday and Friday as well, sort of a gloomy pattern. As the cold air doesn't really want to go anywhere, the warm air is trying to work in from the southwest. We're going to have this frontal boundary sort of draped across the region, and all of these ingredients are going to continue to generate clouds and periods of showers for Thursday, for Friday, and it looks like we're going to see this carry on into Saturday as well. Looks like the best chance for showers over the next several days will be Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. That'll linger into Friday morning, and then we'll see another round, I think, Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. So those are going to be your two main rounds of rain, but we could see showers really at any point over the next several days. Now, looking forward to Sunday, Easter Sunday. We've talked about how the pattern's going to be kind of gloomy through Saturday. Well, hopefully by Sunday, we're going to see a front clearing the area early in the day. So we could see some clouds, maybe even a few showers early in the day, but we should see skies transition over to mostly sunny conditions late morning into the afternoon. I think mild temperatures, highs in the low 60s, and light northerly winds, and that should actually make for a pretty nice day, and maybe the nicest day out of the next 7. Overnight tonight, skies are clear now. We'll see some increasing high cloudiness later on tonight, about 24 for the overnight low, although areas to our north and east where there's some snow on the ground, skies will stay clear longer, and we're also going to continue to find light winds. The temperatures there will likely drop here into the upper teens, sort of maximizing that overnight low. Further south, we'll find temperatures dropping into the low to mid-20s across northern Arkansas and southwestern areas of Missouri. Tomorrow, little filtered sun early on, but the clouds will quickly thicken up, and it looks like generally cloudy skies for the afternoon. Temperatures will still manage to sneak up to about 50, I think, for a high here in Springfield, with cooler conditions to our north and east where we're going to have the best chance for some afternoon showers. The warmer readings where we'll find a bit more sunshine across northern Arkansas, generally in the mid-50s there. 7-day forecast, here's a look at those temperatures for Thursday, for Friday, warming into the 50s each day. That's better than we've seen. Overnight lows will be above freezing as well. Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, best chance for showers, I think, late afternoon into the overnight. Looks like highs in the low 60s. Sunday, clearing skies, highs in the low 60s. And then it looks like that cold pattern may reassert itself once again early next week with highs possibly only in the 40s on Monday. Certainly by Tuesday, it looks like highs only in the 40s, and we'll throw in some clouds and a chance for showers. And some of the model runs that we've got coming into the weather lab indicate maybe even the possibility for some wintry precip, maybe Monday afternoon into Monday night if things went the way that it says things might go. So I know it's early April. Yeah. I know it's early April, that part of the forecast, but you know, this has been a cold wintry pattern that we've been in, and it may linger into April.
Before that, though, the Easter Bunny may have to hide the eggs in the house because we may have some showers.
Maybe early on Easter Sunday, okay. But I think Sunday may be the nicer out of the next 7, actually.
Okay. All right. Good. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie.
Right in, and Elliott, save rebound, and Hall knocks in the rebound.
Nick Carboni is coming up with sports.
Could the Blues overcome another rough night in nets? The highlights next.
Now, the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Nick Carboni.
The Drury Panthers, along with their own Dan Lucy and Justin Doherty, are in Louisville, Kentucky, where the Panthers will play in the program's first ever Elite Eight game on Thursday night. That's going to be against South Carolina Aiken, which, like Drury, won its regional championship as the top seed. The Pacers, they like to set the pace, run the floor, and press. They scored 100 points or more 3 times this season. 5 Pacers average double figures. That's led by a pair of hot shooting guards who both average over 40% from beyond the arc.
They're two best players, where they try to score from, and then obviously they're going to press us, so we've got to be ready to handle full court pressure and attack it and go try to make them pay on the other end.
Yeah, coach stresses for us to be professional and to carry ourselves professionally and keep our mind focused and keep our mind clear of distractions. So I feel like our team does a great job of helping each other stay focused. I'm just ready to play. We're ready.
New tonight at 10, whether the St. Louis Blues can hang on to a playoff spot might be up to the three-headed monster, which is what we're calling the goaltending situation. Veterans Brian Elliott and Yaroslav Halak have been part of the problem, while prospect Jake Allen widely seen as a solution. 8-2, and he's getting the start tonight at home against Edmonton. First period, though, it unravels. Jordan Eberle notches his 8th of the year, and it's 1-0. Second period, Blues can't convert a power play. Eberle makes them pay, and it's 2-0. Oilers later second, breakaway, and Jakey, you got to stay in the bucket. Taylor Hall bangs home the rebound. The Blues go to Halak now, but they still lose 3-0. The St. Louis Cardinals just 6 days away from opening day in Arizona, and more bad news on the injury front. The team placing third baseman David Freese on the disabled list today with a lower back strain. This stemming from a fall into the dugout earlier this month while chasing a fly ball. Freese's trip, though, to the DL is backdated to March 22nd, so he's slated to come back for the team's home opener against Cincinnati on April 8th. Closer Jason Mott also likely to start the year on the disabled list. All the healthy Cardinals visiting Mets camp today in Port St. Lucie, including Adam Wainwright, but the opening day starter in trouble in the first. Bases juice, already given up a run. There he goes, though. Curveball by Kirk Neuenhuis, and it's over. 2 runs over 6 for Waino. He can also swing the stick. That one out to right field. And easy on the slide, big dog. They need you in about a week. He would score on a sac fly, and it's 1-1. 2-2 in the fourth. Pete Kozma, your opening day shortstop. Man, he's been hot. Third homer of the spring, a grand slam. The Cards are up 6-2, and then in the 7th, Waino getting all the limelight in the dugout interview, while his catcher, Yadi Molina, goes opposite field with it over the boards and gone. 2-run job, and it's 9-2. Rob Johnson, he's a catcher, former Met, trying to make it with the Cards. Helping his own cause there, goes deep to dead center, and the Cards win 11-4. Let's go to Royals camp, where Luis Mendoza was named the team's 5th starter today. The 29-year-old righty, widely considered the 3rd candidate for the job at the beginning of camp, but today the team's sending Bruce Chen to the pen, where he'll join last year's opening day starter Luke Hochevar. And all those guys, including the rest of the team, are Cactus League champs. The Royals clinching a spring training title with an 11-6 win over Seattle this afternoon. The team also won its franchise record 23rd spring training game today, but it is just spring baseball.
Wow, well,
you got to translate it to the regular season, but there is actual optimism this year in camp.
There's some hope.
They're tearing the cover off the ball. They're pitching well. They got a new rotation.
And only a couple more days till March Madness picks up,
March
too.
Madness, and then it's going to guide us right into baseball.
All right, nonstop. Thanks,
That's right.
Nick.
Final word after you see this.
are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
We just can't get spring to actually kind
What
of
is it
spring.
What is it going to spring? Yeah, when is that going to happen? Well, looks like we're not going to see really warm weather, but temperatures will be warmer than they've been going into the weekend. The problem is lots of clouds each day and a chance for showers each day as well. I'm hoping for Easter Sunday, though, that we'll get an early front that'll clear the clouds out and we'll see highs in the low 60s.
Right, thanks, Jamie.
And thank you for staying up with us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Good night, folks.